Boston has entered the chat, and we have so much to chat about on the heels of a Game 5 loss. Bruins failing to close out the Toronto Maple Leafs at home without their best player. Welcome to Boston has entered the chat. Travis Thomas with a dejected, broken George Balekji here. My friend, I mean, oh my God.
You know, you're a vocal gymnast with the words, my friend. But when you said a Game 5 loss, the loss especially, just like
just stuck to your ribs.
Slumped me.
Why are you holding the mic like that, dog?
I'm dead. One shot in the opening 14 minutes of the first period. Just dominated in the faceoff circle, 16-2. The Leafs' first goal, fresh off a faceoff. Jim Montgomery said it. There was no fight. There was no will. The Leafs were better than them, and they were for 3 straight periods and into overtime.
I didn't see a sense of urgency. You know what? We always start this with, get this off of my chest.
We'll start.
No, you know what? We'll go combo platter because we're both dejected here. Let's do a combo. Here's where I'm at with it, George, okay?
Let me hear you.
How do you lose a closeout game at home to the Leafs, a team, a franchise with low self-esteem? This is a franchise, George.
Yeah.
They have a history of losing these games. This is
their
what
history.
they do. They lose these games.
Yep.
And the worst part of it all, you have a franchise with a low self-esteem in big closeout games like this. The Bruins are at home, and they don't have their best player. A generational talent is not playing in the game yet. I never felt a sense of urgency. It sounds like you feel the same way. You know what? Tag, George. You're it. Hit them off the top, bro.
You're up 3-1 in your own building. No Austin Matthews. You have your hot hand and your stud in the net, Jeremy Swayman, who played great.
Doesn't lose to them.
Who played great, has been nails as he's been all year long against the Leafs. Bodied from the jump.
Yeah.
Offense was anemic.
Yeah.
Not generating any chances. The Leafs, who you've been beating their ass all series long, came into your building.
Physically.
Punched you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Set the tone. Set the pace. Had you play their game. And yes, like you said, without their best player. That's what makes this tough, is how can you get outplayed like that? A, in your own building. B, against a team that you mentally broke in Game 3. We saw it happen.
Yes.
You beat them in their own building. And now, air's in their lungs. Series shifts back to Toronto.
Yeah, you got to go back there.
And Joseph freaking Wall.
Right.
First full start since April 16th. He had 4 goals allowed then. This was his 35th career start. Joseph freaking Wall. And you let him stop you.
I mean, bro was playing out of body.
Just wasn't creating good chances.
No.
Weren't converting. Just didn't let it happen.
Hey, for context, total shots, Maple Leafs 33, Bruins 28. George talked about
it was 11-2 in the first.
Yes.
11-10 in the second, fine. 8-12, second number being the Bruins. So they're pulling ahead. But it's just from the first period and you're playing catch-up.
Total face-offs you brought up. Maple Leafs 32, Bruins 21.
Yeah. You got to win face-offs. It's very simple hockey.
Yikes.
Get the puck possession, set everything up on your end, or you just have your guys in spot and you have control of the puck. And just playing catch-up. Guys like Jake DeBrusk, just one shot on goal all game long. And I've been overly critical of him, but he has played great, and he's helped carry them through the series. Disappears. Nylander, 5 shots on goal from him.
Pasta.
Matthew Nyes, game winner in OT, 4 shots on goal.
Where's my dog Pasta?
4 shots? Yeah.
I mean,
him getting in scuffles and quickly bowing out.
Yeah, he got a little banged up too.
I mean, once he saw a fist coming his way, he yeeted out of there right away. He said, I want no part of this. And it's even when you execute it, like the Trent Frederick goal.
Yeah.
Boqvist, great job on the forward check to set it. Pat Maroon there to come in and it be a 2-on-1 situation.
Right.
Generates that puck out, and Frederick's right there. Like, you're doing the little things right, but you just couldn't piece it together. That's what, after Jim Montgomery as well, preparing for this game, had to stop practice yesterday and say your preparation, you executing in Game 5 starts now, today, as in yesterday. Just come out flat in that practice. Come out flat in this game.
I mean,
it's tough, and after what happened last season, now it enters the conversation. It enters the chat of last year was 3-1, now it's 3-1 again. But this team's not good. The Leafs are not good.
Yeah, I don't have that same feeling because and I know.
You're in that locker room. The boogeyman's here, man.
I know.
It's your own ghost.
I get it, but I'm just looking at – I'm not going to get another game like this from my ancillary pieces. Coyle, you mentioned DeBrusque. It just wasn't enough. Zaka. I mean, I need more from these guys, and I have to imagine now. I tell you one damn thing, maybe in a sense, because you're at home, because it's a closeout, because Matthews isn't playing, because the Leafs are the Leafs and they constantly pull a maple leaf in the playoffs, perhaps there was a little bit of sleeping at the wheel here, and that's why you don't see the urgency. That's why we never felt that energy, even though you're at home. I tell you one thing now, George. You're going back to the 6. I don't know the status of Austin Matthews. Let's talk about that, too.
One of the toughest buildings to play in.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Matthews. But you got to go. Well, let's talk about it. But you got to go there now and put this thing away. Nobody wants to see a Game 7. The Leafs don't deserve a Game 7. They are not Game 7 material. You've got to get this done in Toronto. Boston's capable of doing it. So now there should be a fire under their hind parts to get this done there. But it shouldn't have came to this. Let's talk about Austin Matthews for a second. So I'm confused. Now, here's the deal. We understand the hockey culture. We all get it. It's really the only sport where you can get away with being as vague as possible, which is what all coaches in all sports want to do with injuries anyway.
Bill Belichick should have coached.
I mean, but you know what? Every coach wants to do that. No. So I do get that. You and I have covered sports enough to know that, long enough to know that. But Austin Matthews, if it's truly an illness, because I've heard everything under the sun here, from the guy has a lower body injury to I've heard specifically a hip injury to I've heard, no, he's just really sick and he's been sick all week or whatever. Let's go for the sake of what they're telling us on surface level that he's truly sick. Then you have to imagine he's back for Game 6. And also, how do you miss a game for being sick, bruh? I mean, come on. Your team's facing elimination. That's another topic for another day. I'll let you off the hook because the Bees blew it here. But you have to imagine he's back for Game 6. That adds to the momentum for that team. They're at home trying to stay alive like the Bee Gees, so that adds to their momentum. I mean, right now, if you're just judging it on momentum meter, the damn Maple Leafs have it all. I still believe the Bruins will close this out in 6. And you know what? The other thing, too, it's funny. I'm ticked off here right now for this. But the fact is, you and I talked coming into the series, I said Bruins in 6. So I really shouldn't, and I'm not hitting the panic button because I thought all along Austin Matthews and the Maple Leafs were good enough to sort of hang in there and make this a 6-game series. I thought that would be their ceiling, so to speak. And then as the series played out, it felt like 5, especially with Matthews not being available. But here we are. I mean, it still could be Bruins in 6, but I'm still upset at the way Game 5 turned out.
But it's from Game 1. You were the more physical team.
Yes.
You were tougher.
Yes.
You dictated everything happening on the ice. Even when you lost, you played good.
Game
Your
2,
goalie
you
played
dictated.
well.
Yes.
And then Toronto comes out today and just dominates from every facet of the game. That's what gets me with this, is that complete flip. And now you're giving this team confidence and believability, and they'll get their Austin Matthews back, possibly. We'll see what happens for him for Game 6. But it's also, it comes down to late game execution. That game winner by Matthew Nyes.
Yep.
Tavares just going down along the boards, one-on-one with Grzelcyk, bodies him.
Bodies him.
You see Charlie Coyle and Charlie McAvoy both pursuing that puck, leaving the middle of the ice and the crease wide open, and then Nyes comes in, just has that rebound, takes a lucky bounce in favor of the Leafs. But still, it's your blue line getting toughed out. Your best players, a Coyle and a McAvoy, not playing their best, not making the best decision. Jeremy Swayman now, does he go 4 straight? Do you put Linus in?
Oh.
What do you do here?
Okay, let's go there.
You just up 3-1, foot on their throat. You can't give them a breath of air.
And you did.
And you let them get up.
Yes.
You did more than that.
Yeah, no, they
That's
got the
what's tough in
defibrillator,
this
right?
situation.
Yeah.
And now you're going to Scotiabank, which is one of the best places to watch a hockey game. One of the toughest places to play.
I don't
It's
care.
Toronto, man.
I don't care.
It is Toronto.
I don't want to hear that nonsense.
And Jim Montgomery, hear him every time. What did he say? He was talking with Brick. I have it. Outbattled us, outwilled us. They started better than we did. That was it. And he was off.
He's right.
He's pissed off. Should be.
Does Swayman start Game 6?
I would. 956 save percentage so far this series. That's not even counting tonight. Still was fine.
So you're looking at this as, yes, you lose Game 5. You don't close out, but it wasn't his. It's not like he had a bad game. You didn't lose 6-3 here.
It's a matter of what are you doing with your lineups, because you juggled them tonight, putting Brazeau on the right wing on the 4th line. And then you look at the goaltending as well. What happens there?
Right.
Both guys can play. One is clearly better than the Leafs to you. And we saw the metrics. I broke it down yesterday on the podcast as well.
Yep.
Of what his goals and saves above expected are, just off the charts.
Right.
Do you stick with Swayman, but can he go 4 straight? Can he go 4 straight?
Ooh.
Because Game 6 is Thursday, so that's 1 day off between games, not 2.
That's right.
And then Game 7 Saturday. And this is when it gets into the conversation. We had that back and forth yesterday of why I'm saying play Linus again. I'm fine with that. Right. But to me, it's if you put Linus there, if you put Swayman, because Swayman was making saves that have the guys looking back and I'm like, thank God we have Jeremy Swayman there. The confidence boost he gives.
I thought he played well.
But what if you put Linus in there? Like, that's the least of my worries. Whoever you put in net, you need to make sure the guys in front of them, the 5 guys in front of them, wake the F up.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You're not wrong. Okay.
What are you doing in net?
I'm rolling with Sway.
Yeah.
I've been saying that. I'm not going to make a change now, especially. I almost think now you have to stick with Swayman. Now, again, you go out tonight, they don't have Austin, or last night, you don't have Austin Matthews. You know, they light you up like a Christmas tree. That's different. That's not what happened. I mean, Swayman was the least of your problems. So I think you do stick with him. But, George, I'm looking right here. I mean, the path in the East right now, literally every team is chilling, waiting, except the Bruins. The Bruins had an opportunity to be just like the Panthers, just like the Rangers,
last night.
Just like the Hurricanes, hanging out, resting, licking their wounds, and getting ready for the next round. And now they got to mess around and go back to Toronto and try and put this team away, which there's no guarantee. We could be headed for 7 games. Who the hell knows? And meanwhile, you have all of these monsters waiting for you if you happen to advance. I mean, obviously, we know the Panthers will be next round. That's as dangerous as it gets as far as I'm concerned. I don't give a damn about the Rangers having the best record. I've said all year long, even before the trade deadline. Now, post-trade deadline, I said I thought the Hurricanes improved themselves the most to get to a Stanley Cup final. But all year, almost wire to wire, I said the Panthers are the most complete team that I've seen, at least in the East in hockey, maybe in all of hockey. So you have them waiting on, knock on wood, the Bruins. Then you have the Rangers and Canes getting ready for their series. But they've all clinched. They all got their series over. Rangers won in a sweep, Canes won in 5, and here are the Bruins messing around and playing with their food.
And you're letting a tough physical team like the Panthers
that
want to forecheck you, want to play you tough on the boards. Just rest up, get healthier.
George, they dominated the Lightning.
Yeah.
I know the Lightning are older, but like there's still a lot of fight. There's still a lot of gas left in that tank. They dominated them.
Just chewed them up, spit them out. And now it's a team that's just waiting for you, getting hungrier and hungrier to play you. And what do you think the Panthers?
They're scouting.
When they draw the Bruins, well, scouting, just smiling. We get them again.
Get them again.
It's a boogeyman.
And look, they did this against the Leafs.
Yeah.
In a closeout. Oh my God.
It's again what makes this sting, because as you said, you thought the series would go 6, and I'm fine with that. I see where you're coming from.
I thought so from the beginning.
Up 3-1 in the series in your own building. Your opponent's without their best player. You're starting your golden child in the net, Jeremy Swayman, who's dominated the team.
Sure.
Come out flat. Tone, pace, everything owned by the Leafs from the jump.
let's talk Game 6. Who do you need? I mean,
DeBrusque. I need more
okay,
opportunities.
so
from
we
him.
both already said we're rolling with Sway here. So we like Sway in net. So you need DeBrusque. That's the X factor.
Yeah, I'm going with Sway. I just need to get my mind around that one because if the rotation works, rotation works. I don't give a damn.
Wait a minute.
But
flip-flopping? You going Hallmark here?
Swayman's played nails.
Okay.
My worry isn't the goaltender. Like, that's the least.
Okay, that's what I'm
I
saying.
go to goalie Bob. Who are we going with? Cool. All right, sounds good.
All right, so we're going Sway in net, and your X factor is DeBrusque?
It is DeBrusque, yeah.
All right.
Because we saw the opportunities come from Marchand. We saw Pasta with 4 shots on goal, just not clear.
Yeah, but I see, that's my guy. I need Pasta. This is one of those moments, look, I mean, this guy's done everything under the sun in terms of goals and excitement and hat tricks and stats and you name it, records galore. But these are career-defining moments where closeout game, let's forget Game 5. I mean, that's in the win now. You look at Game 6 on the road, assuming, for the sake of this combo, Austin Matthews plays, George, you have Austin Matthews against Pasta. Pasta goes out, outplays him, and finishes Austin Matthews. That's the headline stuff. We're all hockey fans. We get it.
Yeah.
We know it's much more than that. We know it's deeper than that. We know it's a chess match. But those are the 2 pieces on the board everyone's looking at. Austin Matthews coming back, assuming, right, from missing Game 5. He's back. He's at home. Uh-oh, mama, there goes that man. And then you have Pasta on Boston side. Who's going to be the guy? I mean, we've seen that in this series. Remember, Pasta had the goal. Then Matthews comes, gets the clutch goal, Game 2. Remember that? I mean, this is heavyweight stuff we're talking about. So I look at this X factor as I hear you with DeBrusque, and I'm a DeBrusque guy. So I'm with you on that too. But I'm putting more pressure in this moment on Pasta to come up big, to deliver, and to close out. That's what great players do, and I think he's a great player.
And it's also, I think, Brad Marchand played with great tenacity in Game 5.
Yes,
but Goose Egg's in the scoring sheet.
Yeah, but he's giving you
no
maximum
shots.
effort, George.
I know.
Always.
I know. But he needs to do his thing on the ice because it's not only how it lifts up the Bruins, it's how it deflates the Leafs.
Sure.
Can't have 0 shots from Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
Now you see the Leafs going out of their way to make his life hell.
Yeah, that was
Tying
game
up
plan.
with them.
Yep.
The linesman for the refs tackling him at one point, getting weird. But it was just chaos around Marchand.
Yeah.
To me, that whole sequence, he should not have ended up in the box. But whatever. I'm not going to talk about the refs here.
Yeah.
Because the refs were kind to you and Brad Marchand, not calling that tripping on Tyler Bertuzzi that led to a goal, right?
Yeah.
Going back past games in the series.
Right.
No matter what, you need Marchand, you need DeBrusque, those guys, the ones that set the tone, set the pace. Of course, you need David Pastrnak to shine through. Your best players need to elevate and play their best hockey right now. You're getting it on the back end.
Yeah, you
Charlie
are.
McAvoy, you have to come out and establish the toughness. Brad Marchand, you have to wake the team up. You play and you lead by example every night. That's without a question. We've seen it for 15 years. You rat. To say that with a compliment. But he needs to make sure the rest of his team is a bunch of rats with him.
All right.
Go on, take it.
All right, another closeout game tonight. Life without Porzingis, though. Celtics are going to have to do it without Kristaps Porzingis, who now we know for sure. Wojbomb earlier yesterday said, hey, Porzingis is out, expected to miss a minimum of, ready, several games.
The hell is
thanks.
what is several, Adrian?
Thanks, Woj.
What is several?
I mean,
It's more than one.
clearly not a math major.
Before
Woj.
we get into looking at the game tonight,
Yeah.
what I woke up and expected was there to be an update. There wasn't.
Me too.
Imaging, they fly back at night.
Yep.
Tuesday morning imaging.
Same.
2 o'clock rolled around. No
Yep.
update. 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Woj John bopped.
Second, third opinions, by the way, here, George.
That's what I'm suspecting.
Yeah.
And it's that bad. So I want to get that off where several games, which is such a broad term of he's not playing the rest of the series. I don't think he plays the conference semifinals either.
I don't either.
This is lingering. This is bad. It was also the language that came out with the report using like the scientific medical term. It's a calf strain. Soulless strain. It's a calf strain. It's the same grade and the same effect they've seen what happened to Giannis Antetokounmpo, who, by the way, had that early April, hasn't played at all in this playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
And with a guy like Porzingis where, yes, he doesn't play with the same ferocity that Giannis does.
It's not above the rim.
Still leaps a ton. He's a rim protector. He's a rebounder.
Yep.
Still dictates a lot from the middle.
He's a big.
This is something that's going to linger. So, to me, there was the red flag of you don't hear anything about Porzingis until 5 o'clock. And the Celtics have always been shady with their injury reports. Always, always, always. And manipulate the language, and they straight line. Whatever. I don't care. Even Porzingis putting out the tweet, all good, flex. No. That's him trying to be optimistic and temper expectations. It took this long. That's multiple options. That's multiple medical opinions. And it's not a good sign for Porzingis long term.
He would have had me if he didn't use the flex emoji and he put the leg emoji. Then I'd be like, he's fine. But to use the flex, you're deflecting Porzingis. Okay, so he's out of the game, but we already suspected that any damn ways. Let's talk about the closeout. I mean, how do you close out without him? I'll be honest with you.
You beat a team that isn't even in the same class as you.
That's where I was going. Big picture.
Let's start there.
Obviously, you need Kristaps Porzingis to win a championship.
Yeah.
But hell, we ain't there yet, brother. So you're going to beat the Heat without him anyways. And I suspect you're going to be just fine against the Cavs or the Magic, too, in the next round without him. Now you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. You get to the NBA Finals. Different conversations. But we can cross that bridge when it comes. As far as beating the Heat, you've got to see the sense of urgency. We talked about this with the Bruins, right? This is a closeout game. Let's act like it. Let's go in there. Let's not mess around. You know damn well what the Heat are going to do. They're going to bring the effort. They're going to bring the energy. They're going to bring the sense of urgency. They're going to play dirty. They're going to be physical. Eric Spoelstra, the whiteboard game, is going to be on point.
The last one's important to me.
Right? Joe Mazzulla, what you going to do? I mean, you got to have your team ready to play. You got to have your team ready to close this out, to finish, to close, to kill. Whiteboard has to be there because now, without Porzingis, schematically, what are you doing, right? I mean, obviously, we're going to see more minutes. I get it. Cornette's going to play. Horford's going to play more minutes. Tillman's going to play. So I get the bodies aspect. We already know that while Porzingis is out. But what are we doing schematically to close these boys out and to maximize all of those bodies we just talked about to get this done? I need a big game from Tatum.
Yeah, I need better than 5 for 14 from the floor.
It's cute that you get that 5 for 14 and you went on the road by 20. That was cute. But that's not going to happen in a closeout, George.
Because Tatum needs to take over now. No Porzingis.
Yes.
You are the alpha. You are the guy. And I need more than 37 combined between Tatum and Jaylen Brown. What's important right now is, keep in mind, the big three, no ifs, ands, or buts, was clearly Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis.
In that order.
So who has to step up in his vacancy? Well, you have a guy on your roster who was part of a big three that won a title.
That's
You
right.
could say he was a number 2.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, Drew Holiday, when he was with the Milwaukee Bucks, was averaging 19 points per game a night, 15 shots, doing it all, leading the defense, of course. That dropped to 12.5 points per game with the Celtics, 10 shots a night. I was astonished to see this. He had 2 free throws in the Game 4 win.
Yeah.
That was his first time taking a free throw in 13 straight games that he has played in. Now, what Porzingis does offensively is create a lot from the middle, around the foul line, around the rim, of course, finish, and stretch a floor and shoot and draw their opposing big out. Drew Holiday's not going to do all that. But there is a sense of physicality you have to bring in attacking the cup and making the smart shots, and that's what Drew Holiday has to bring. I want to start there. Then, of course, you have Al Horford, Xavier Tillman, Luke Cornette stepping up. All different roles. None of them match offensively what KP can bring. But to me, Kristaps Porzingis going down, especially at this point. Now, the Celtics managed him all season long. Played just 65 games. Make sure no back-to-backs. If something's lingering, rest him. Don't play. Who cares? Because it's about this time of year. But now with Porzingis going down, it puts a spotlight on the biggest weakness of this team, the coaching. Joe Mazzulla, what do you do adjustment-wise? What do you do late-game execution to set your players up for a good look, a good shot? And if it gets tight, whether it be a game clincher against the Miami Heat in Game 5 or in the following series when you're likely without Kristaps Porzingis again, late game, shot on the line, game on the line, game in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown's hands. It can't be any of this dribble, sidestep, dance, fadeaway BS. It can't be that.
Yeah.
Set your superstars up with good looks. Get them easy shots. They're too talented to do so, too athletic to not do so. But we've seen it shine through with each player in different games. Over-dribbling, stagnant offense, playing hero ball.
Sure.
Where's the give and go? So to me, it comes down to, yes, scoring-wise, who's going to step up? Is it a Drew Holiday? We saw Derek White go off for 38. That's not going to happen again. He literally had an anomaly of a game for you to pull out this win
high.
without Kristaps.
Yeah.
Will it be a Drew Holiday? Will it be a Derek White? And that's fine if they can bring 25, 30 a night between the two of them. But eventually, you're drawing an Eric Spoelstra. You'll face a Mike Malone. You could get a Nick Nurse in the East. How does that shake down? Because Joe Mazzulla, eventually a head coach, has to shine through. And it's no more kumbaya, believability, love, trust. We get that. You've showcased that.
Yeah, you got to X and O it now.
Net rating-wise, this is the third best team in NBA history. We get it. They love each other. They like playing with each other. They got chemistry and confidence and trust. But can you execute? Joe Mazzulla, do your job.
Bleeper, get off the pot, right?
Yeah.
Look, I completely agree with you on Drew Holiday. I'll take it a step further. I think you missed a little bit with him. I understand what you're saying, needs to be more aggressive, go to the cup. I certainly understand what you're saying, Joe Mazzulla. Can you help a brother out and scheme something up to get him more aggressive going to the cup, get him in a rhythm, especially early and often in a closeout game, because that man knows how to close. Drew Holiday, a champion. So we agree there. I think you sort of left out, though, Drew Holiday has been an absolute defensive menace, George, in this series. He has been a menace really all year, but we're speaking about the Heat series here. He's been a menace in this series. I'll say this. This is why I say I'll take it a step further. I always found it fascinating that Drew Holiday got that contract extension. Two things. A, before Derek White did.
I'm fine with it.
Well, I thought, that's peculiar. Derek White, a guy who's been here, proven it. Not that he's not going to get his money. We assume that he will here. But I thought, Drew Holiday extension already, huh? But I think the reason they did that is because, and the timing, is to send the message to Drew Holiday. Hey, when we get to the postseason, which we're in, when we get in big moments, you're the champ. You're the guy.
Yeah.
You're the guy that has to show these dudes how to get it done, because that's been our problem around here. Here's the bag now. We're invested in you. We brought you here for a reason, for this reason, and a Game 5 to put away an inferior Miami Heat team is exactly where you need Drew Holiday. Mm-hmm. That's why you give him the bag. The timing I thought was peculiar, but this is why. The fact that he got it before Derek White was peculiar to me, but this is why. I think this is Drew Holiday's game. I do. And, in fact, George, if I'm right, Drew Holiday has a big Game 5. They put away the Heat. That's your closer. And I'm not saying we don't need a big game from Tatum. We do. I'm not saying we don't need support from Jaylen Brown for Tatum's big game. We do. We'll need moments. This is what Jaylen Brown does. He takes moments over in a game. We need that too. I'm not saying you don't need Kristaps Porzingis healthy. Of course you do to win a title. But I believe if Drew Holiday closes out the Heat in Game 5 and has a big game like I suspect he will, this is the closer, man. This is the guy. And by the way, when you're a champion and you're a point guard and you're beloved by your teammates already like Drew Holiday is, and you have the financial commitment, it doesn't necessarily have to be scoring. George, it could be late game, closeout scenarios moving forward with this team where it's not scoring per se.
Yeah.
He has the ball in his hands at the end of the game to make the right basketball decision, right? But that's still your closer. That's still the guy you have the ball in his hands and you're trusting to make the right championship play down the stretch. It's why he's here. It's why they committed financially, and I believe we see it tonight in Game 5.
It's also, too, with my approach on the Drew Holiday thing. I want him attack. I want free throw line, too. There is the layered effect of losing a Kristaps Porzingis, what it does to your offense. Everything he does from the post, being a good passer, obviously how lethal your pick and roll has been. It's the best in the NBA. But if you want Drew Holiday attacking more, That takes out a 49% three-point shooter from deep, where he's found his spot in the corners. Now, given his three-point shooting hasn't been the same in the playoffs, there's just such a ripple effect with no Porzingis offensively.
Yep.
Does it change Drew's role? Yes, it does.
Sure.
How does it change Tatum's role? He'll be doing that from the post more now.
Yeah.
It does. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, more shots for them. But you lose KP. That's 3 guys in your big 3 that could get you 70 points any night.
Wow.
So where are you going to get those 15, 20 points you're losing with Porzingis? You have to find it another way. I get what you're saying with Drew Holiday and what he brings. Yeah, late in the game, I like him. Defensively, I love him too. But there's a lot of scoring, a lot that changes, and just he's a focal point of the offense. It is different with Kristaps Porzingis out there, and we're going to see it. And you're facing a coach, in Eric Spoelstra, that you know is going to come ready with his team.
All right, let's put a bow on all this before we move on to the Patriots. Bruins close out in Game 6, yes or no?
Yes.
Agreed.
I had to think about that one.
I know. I understand. I had to pause too, but we both agree.
Just imagine it gets to Game 7
I know.
and it's reverse.
I know.
Where you're riding with Swayman and you flip to Linus.
Oh, no, let's not go there. We said yes, close out, right? We're good. Celtics close out the Heat in Game 5.
Yeah, I'm more confident that the Heat
Me
suck.
too.
They
I
can't
think it's a
shoot.
blowout, actually.
They can't score. Yes.
I'm going convincing win.
Keep this in mind. The Celtics have won. Their wins in the series have come by an average of 18 points.
Right.
So, like.
Right. And the one
just talking
BS game the Heat won was an anomaly. They made every
they had to do
three-pointer
historic.
known to man, right?
They can't shoot like that.
That's right.
It's just this Kristaps Porzingis is so big picture.
It is. It is.
It's finals ramifications.
It is.
Definitely.
Of course.
But it's also Eastern Conference Finals. Who knows what you draw?
Yes. Amen. All right. Oh, my gosh. Joshua Uche. Listen to these quotes. So we know the Patch Young core continues to be re-signed. Hey, remember Gerard Mayo said we're going to burn through some cash. They are, but it's retaining players, which I love. But
They didn't burn any on Uche.
No, well, listen to this. Uche spoke yesterday on why he turned down more money to stay with the Pats. Quote, "It was interesting. I had a lot of people calling me crazy," Uche said. "A lot of people focusing on the financial parts of the decision, but I feel like the team gave me an opportunity. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I can't envision myself playing for another team. There were some options on the table, but in my heart, I felt I was destined to be a Patriot." This is becoming a destination for young players.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, George.
No, it's not.
If you notice what's happening.
He's here. He's
No,
already here.
No, this is what's
the
happening.
Destination?
This is what's
He's
happening.
Here.
You can't see it happening.
He's
I
here.
can. I can see the forest
It's
through the trees.
not.
This is what's happening. So for years, the Patriot way was you get drafted by the Pats, you come up with the patch, you ball out for the Pats. Hell, you win titles and playoff games and moments for the Pats. And then when it comes time to sit down at that negotiating table, you don't get a damn thing from the Pats, and you go get paid, you get the bag elsewhere. Those times are changing. I believe now, George, clearly, this team drafts, develops, keyword, retains, and retains talent. It's a new day. And you don't think these young guys around the league who are about to be due up for money don't take notice of that? They're saying, I like this new Patriots and what they're doing. I'm going there. Give me all the lobster rolls, baby. I am telling you right now, Patriots are becoming a destination.
For the people watching on Twitch, YouTube, Nesson.com,
Hi.
Facebook, wherever you watch, hey, thank you. When I do this is just me locking in and listening to Trav. And for the people listening, I like move my head away from the mic.
Yeah, you do. You
bow
do.
down.
You do.
That's just me locking
You
in.
absorb it.
And I'm very reactive. I make a lot of noises.
You do.
I don't want to interrupt my colleague, my friend, Travis Thomas.
Thank you.
He got $3 million for 1 year. He turned down $11 million for 2 at other spots. Now, there's a reason he wanted to stay here, and I believe in that. But, dude, this isn't a destination. It's like I joke about it, but I'm also serious. Like,
Yeah.
It's a destination to live in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Nothing against the lovely people in Foxborough or Walpole or Rentham. I love Rentham. I love the South Shore. You're close to Providence. Great city. Great food. Portuguese. Love it. But you think, like, these guys, what were you saying, too? You're an NFL player. You're a millionaire. You want to be in the Seaport. You
Yeah.
want to be in Back Bay, Beacon Hill.
Ah.
Yeah, it's 50 minutes away. No traffic in Boston,
Yeah.
right? So I just want to make that point. I'll believe it's a destination when guys from the outside, premier guys, Calvin Ridley, wants to come here.
Screw him. He's more interested in parlay partays. Listen, here's the deal.
He's interested in $92 million.
Well, who isn't? Here's the deal.
No income tax in Tennessee.
Clearly,
and a quarterback.
Clearly, you all could see what's going on here. One of us on this show makes Joshua Uche money. Me. One of us on the show makes Christian Barmore money. Because did you see how he was like, he got 1 year for 3? Poo that.
I'm talking his
give
value.
Me that 1 year for 3. I'm good. It's a destination for me, baby.
If I had 1 year for 3, I would not be sitting here. I'm disappearing. I'm investing in disappearing to an island somewhere. But I believe there's something in the water with playing for Gerard Mayo.
Yes.
With playing for DeMarcus Covington, who's now the defensive coordinator.
Yes.
And Uche, maybe he's doing something of betting on himself, where he could have went out, got 2 years, $11 million.
Right.
But he sees what he put together. Rookie season, 1 sack. Sophomore season, 3 sacks. Third year in the league, breakout, 11.5 sacks. 10 of those coming in a 6-game span.
Yeah.
But playing opposite Matt Judon. This season, 3 sacks.
Yes.
Judon goes down in week 4. Joshua Uche had 2 sacks the first 4 weeks. 1 sack the remaining 11 games. That's after the Judon injury.
Right.
He's saying to himself, if that guy can get right, if Red Sleeves can get right, and I line up opposite of him, and I know the defense I'm walking into, I know the guys on the back end, 1 year, 3 years, can turn 1 year, $3 million, can turn 2 years, $11 million into 4 for 40.
Yeah.
With part of that guaranteed.
And they're paying the core group.
So he's betting on himself,
yes.
and I do agree with what you're walking into every day holds value to it. But I'm not going to say New England's a destination for young guys right now.
Not yet.
Because they're not paying it.
Not yet.
They're not resetting the market. They're going, Kyle Duggar, our top 7. Mike Onwenu.
Barmore
top 12.
That
Mike
was
Onwenu,
significant
top
money.
15.
You can't poo-poo that.
I'm not poo-pooing it, but your best players on your defense are not getting paid like they're the best defensive guy in the league. You're retaining. You're getting a hometown discount.
But see,
those guys won't run it back.
I think that's the point. I think what's happening there is you are creating that is in line with the Patriot way. You're just actually getting paid now a little bit more. But I think that is the point, is that we're not breaking the bank in terms of making you the highest paid guy in the league because we want all of you collectively to stay together. That's the point. I think we're gonna see that on the offensive side too, where guys will buy in and say, hey, look, I can be paid would you say Barmore top 10 now in the league at his position. I think that matters because now you can go out and continue to add to the unit because you have the financial means to do so. If you go out and you make him the highest paid guy, you can't do anything else. You're bootstrapped. Quarterbacks are a different scenario, but thank God we don't have to think about that for Drake May for many moons, right? But by that time, who the hell knows? But I'm just saying, I think they are creating a culture where it's like we take care of our young guys, we retain them, everyone's paid within reason to stay, to continue to grow, to continue to build. And that is a far cry from what we've seen for this team for forever, it feels like to me. That's all I'm saying.
I get that. But for Joshua Uche, making a smart investment on himself, betting on himself and all this. And I like that he came out, too. He had a press conference. He said he wants to go by Joshua this year because he signed that big contract. And his dad, Emmanuel Uche, who's an immigrant from Nigeria, came here, got a college education, is now an architect down in Florida. He was breaking it all down. He goes, that guy asked me to go by Joshua because he gave me that name instead of Josh, and I'm going to listen to him. Had a good joke, too. He's like, outside of Bill Belichick, the biggest disciplinarian in my life. So
man.
I like Josh Uche. I love his character. Joshua Uche. I like his character to catch myself.
Then you went to Josh right away.
My bad, Emmanuel. Sorry about that. Hey. I like that about him. It's a lot. But to hit on the Barmore port, too, it's important. He gets 4 years, $92 million, $41.8 million guaranteed.
That's what I'm saying.
Top 12 defensive tackle paid. And last year alone, 10th in sacks for defensive tackles, 16th in QB hurries. Most important number to me, 49 pressures on the season. Went off after week 9. Lost Matt Judon week 4. A disruptor up the middle in the pocket.
Yeah.
How you want to beat these teams in their Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay type offenses. You blow up the middle of the pocket. You get them off their feet, off their platform. These less athletic quarterbacks. That'll help you get success. How do you beat Aaron Rodgers and the Jets? Up the middle. How do you beat Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles? Don't let them get comfy. And Christian Barmore is a key piece for that. They went out, to get to your point, Kyle Duggar paid like a top 7 safety. Onwenu, top 10 at right tackle. Barmore, top 12 at defensive tackle. They're keeping their core guys here. They're building every layer of the offense in the trenches. And if Uche does show up, and if he comes down to, they look at him, still young, about to be year 4, year 5 in the league, and he produces, you lock him up through his age 29 season, I'm fine with that.
Me too.
But he has to do a lot. Just not going to go on the avenue that's it. It's not a destination.
Yes, it is.
If you're already here, what's the destination?
Hey, I'll tell you what
you're
you do.
You're already at the destination.
I'll tell you what you do.
That's your location.
You're a young player around this league. You're looking for a team to love you up. Just put on Boston has entered the chat, and we'll get you here. I mean, it's that simple. All you got to do is watch us. You can be like, yeah, I'm going there. Them dudes got it going on. In fact, you can catch me and George on Foxborough Rush as well for all the latest on the Patriots.
Now, that's a destination.
Absolutely. Full episode on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your podcast. All right, now let's play ball. Mike Trout, Lord have mercy, has a torn meniscus in his left knee and will need surgery.
Hate to see it.
No timetable for his return. The injury is not expected to be season-ending, but, George, I am expecting it to be season-ending because his team sucks. So what will happen is by the time he starts feeling good, feeling great, the team will say, you know what, Mike, just go ahead and punt on the season, my friend, because we're done again. I mean, at this point, no one wishes injury on anyone. We understand that. But we have to talk about his legacy, right? Because – as I look at Mike Trout, I'm going to be honest with you. As talented as he is, his legacy is getting hurt to me. And also, he should have left. Him taking that contract. Look, I get you got to get your money. But we're talking about baseball, man. This isn't salary cap strapped NFL. You know what I mean? Like, Mike Trout was going to get paid wherever the hell he went. Could he have made more with the Angels? Sure, I guess. But he was going to get paid. I don't think this is all about where can I get the most money. You were going to get paid wherever you go. Maybe you could have got more before leaving. In fact, Mike Trout chose to stay with the Angels. I believe his gift is his curse. He's a quiet guy. He doesn't want the media scrutiny. He doesn't want people in his face. He doesn't want the spotlight. No one gives a rat's ass about the Angels.
At all.
In that town, everyone cares about the Dodgers. So you're second fiddle. The media doesn't care. Your team sucks, so you don't matter. You're not relevant. I think his legacy, man, is he always got hurt, and he chose to stay there, and that was a mistake.
Loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
I mean, his legacy to me was greatest baseball player on track to be. Like talent. I mean, a hell of an outfielder.
Yeah.
Let alone what he was doing
unreal
in his first few seasons in the league from 2012 to 2021, already 310 home runs. But think about his first 4 or 5 seasons in MLB.
Yeah.
First or second in AL MVP votes, 7 of his first 8 seasons. Had a 70.5 WAR, wins above replacement. Insane. Never landed on the injured list or even missed more than 3 games in a row from 2012 to 2016. In 2017, 48 games. 2018, 22. Next season, 28 games. 2020, COVID shortened, 102 games lost. Chalk it up to that. 2021, 126 games missed. 2022, 43. Last year, 80. Now, best case scenario, he's out 4 to 6 weeks with this one. This was a guy dealing with torn thumb ligaments, wrist inflammation, foot surgery, calf strain, something with his neck. Now a meniscus that he doesn't even know when happened. He just felt soreness in his knee. All piling up one after the next. His legacy is always being hurt. It's a lack of playoff success because he only played in the playoffs in 2014. They did
sure.
And his legacy is staying with the Angels. And when he said, if I ask a trade, it's an easy way out. No. The easy way out is staying in Anaheim where no one gives a damn, where you can hide and you can lose and there's no pressure. You're too good, and there is a responsibility that comes with it, to go out, seek the challenge, and challenge to be the best. You were the best on the field. You weren't the best at winning. Go find the avenue that does that. At this point, I don't care if it would be going with the Dodgers. I want to see you on the biggest stage. Yeah. That's what everyone in baseball wants to see. They deserve to see. And you set the game back by taking yourself out of that. Amen. That's a tough part with Mike Trout and all this for me. He's from Jersey. It's tough for me to speak bad on him like that.
My brother's preaching. Hey, Boston has entered the chat. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Later.